Josh McDaniel, Director of Marketing.
Denise Moore, Administrative Assistant.
Haley Blunt, Assistant Athletic Director for Development and Marketing.
Hi, my name is Rachel Moran, and I am a Business Administration student at Northwestern State University. Before you do business in a different country, you should always do some research first. Things like gestures or a certain phrase could be offensive in a different country and could possibly ruin your business interactions with them. So today I'll be talking about how to do business in India. Some important things I'll be talking about is social customs, proper and improper gestures, housing, clothing, food, and their family life. Some of the things about social customs that you should know before doing business in a different country is how they greet each other, proper and improper gestures, how to do business and social interactions, and how to address one another. How to greet someone in India is to put your hands together like you're praying and bow slightly and say namaste. This means I bow to you, and it's a sign of respect for them. It is also appropriate to shake hands with one another, but men usually shake hands with men and women usually shake hands with women in India. And if you're a man doing business with an Indian woman, then you should wait for her to extend your hand to you first, because whenever you touch a woman in India, it is seen as making a pass at her. So just to be on the safe side, wait for her to extend her hand. But for women, it's okay to shake hands with businessmen in India. Some proper and improper gestures are, you should never point with one or two fingers in India. Always use your full hand to point at something, or you can use your chin, or you can also use your thumb. Your feet in India are seen as unclean, so never point them at anyone. Whenever you're having a conversation, make sure they're turned away. Or if you're invited over to someone's home, make sure you take your shoes off and have socks that have no holes in them. Your left hand is also seen as unclean in India, so whenever you pass something or pick something up or eat, make sure you always do everything with your right hand in order not to offend anyone. Crossing arms and looking away. In America, we see that as not paying attention and disrespectful, but doing that is a sign of respect to your elders in India. So don't take that wrong if someone is doing that to you. And then waving, you know how we wave hello, goodbye, that is seen as a sign of go away or no. So it's better if you just don't do gestures. For business interactions, always be punctual. Indians have a relaxed view of time though, so it is very normal for them to be late or to reschedule your meetings last minute or change your location of the meeting. But they are impressed by people who are punctual, so make sure you're always there on time. You will always exchange business cards, and they can be in English because most business in India is done in English. You never just jump into your business. Always have small talk first. And it's very normal for them to talk about family and personal life there. And sometimes, whenever you're first meeting with them, you won't even get to business. You'll just small talk the whole time. They don't just start doing business with you just because your facts or your credentials. They like to get to know you, and they have to trust you to do business. They are very indirect, so that's why it takes longer to do business in India. They will not come out and flatly tell you no. They will be like, oh, I'll think about it, or I'll have to talk to someone about it. Usually you can take that as them saying no. It seems very disrespectful if you just come out and disagree. Like I said earlier, they're very friendly people. They like to talk about personal life and family matters. So it's not uncommon for a stranger just to come talk to you if you're waiting in line at a restaurant or anything like that. Gift giving is also very normal. Whenever you have your first meeting with them, you usually bring a souvenir from your country. And whenever you're invited to their home, you bring flowers to the host, but make sure not to bring white flowers because those are used for funerals. And then when you are invited over for a meal, you should always bring some sort of sweet or dessert or something, and if they have children, bring a toy for their children. You should also wrap your gifts in blue, yellow, or green wrapping paper because that is a sign of luck for them. So just be careful on what you give. Gifts to avoid are things like leather, alcohol, and jewelry, because most people in India don't eat certain kinds of meats, and jewelry is seen like as a very intimate gift. When you're addressing others, you usually say Mr., Mrs., Miss. And in North India, they have family names like we do, and so you'll say Mr., Miss, Mrs., and use the family name. But in South India, they just go by their father's name or their ancestral village name and then their first name. So usually written, you'll see their name as the first initial of their father's name, the first initial of their ancestral village, and then their first name. But you can just call them by their first name. And women also take their father's name, and when they are married, they take their husband's name. Most people in India are very poor, so they live in slums. They don't have working water or electricity, and there's not really that much of a middle class. So you're usually, most of them are very poor. They're very rich, and they have mansions with servants and stuff. But there's also tower houses, which are kind of in between. You still have water and electricity. You just have to share a kitchen and bathroom with other families. Businessmen usually wear suit and tie, and women wear like a pantsuit or dress, but it's very conservative, so just you have to dress nice. Traditional women wear a sari, but they don't usually wear that anymore. They say that for special occasions. They're becoming more modern with their dress there, but still conservative. And men will now wear jeans and a t-shirt, or jeans and a nice shirt, just like we do. Food, they usually stick to lamb, chicken, or fish, just to make sure you don't offend anyone by having a certain type of meat there. Alcohol is not usually served because of religious purposes, and most Indians don't drink alcohol at home. Whenever you're at someone's house, you should wait for them to tell you where to sit, and the guest is seen as someone of honor, so they will be served first, and then the men and children. And the women are the ones that usually serve the men, and then they'll eat after. And they usually have 4 meals a day, 2 main meals, and 2 like smaller meals. Family life. Family is very important to them. Women usually stay home and take care of the family and the house, and men usually are the ones that go off to work. But now more days women are going to college, so men are getting more involved in the family life. But the main occupation for women is farming. Namaste.
Namaste.